Hi, today we're going to learn to make inferences about a text. This time is going to be literary text. We have been using informational text, and this time it's literary text. So first we need to remember what are inferences. You can use quotes and details from a text to make inferences. Inferences combine what you have read with information that you already know to come to a new understanding of the text. Remember that we learned that every time we're making inferences, we're reading between the lines. What is an inference? When I read something, that I read and what I know about it, that makes an inference. Let's first try to show our understanding. Which of the following is true of inferences? Inferences are always about the author's message. Inferences are always about characters' actions. Inferences are not directly stated in the text. Inferences are directly stated in the text. Based on what you just read, which of the following is true of inferences? If you said that inferences are not directly stated in the text, you are right. Remember that it's based on what you read, but the answer is not right there. You put what you read and what you know, and then you make an inference. Look at this short paragraph. Let's analyze it together. The blackout sends a wave of panic throughout the small town. People start digging into storage boxes and dusty attics, looking for candles and items that can be used to ignite fire. It is indeed a trying time for the citizens of the small town. But no one is more affected than poor Leslie. He looks at the TV teary-eyed. He taps it once, he kicks it twice, but the screen remains blank. All right, so I'm realizing here that Leslie is a boy. And it says here, the blackout sends a wave of panic throughout the small town. And the question is asking me, what can you infer about the citizens of Leslie's town? So the citizens are the people who live in this town. What can I infer about them? All right. So here in the first sentence, I see that there is a blackout. And when there is a blackout, everybody panics through the small town. Okay. And then I see that the people start digging in storage boxes and dusty attics. They are looking for candles and for items that can be used to ignite fire. Based on that, I can infer that whenever there is no electricity, people don't know what to do. They are looking everywhere. You see that it says that they start digging everywhere, looking for candles. Okay, so it seems that they are not organized and they don't know where the stuff is. When there is a blackout, they panic. They get very scared. Okay, so that's what I can infer about the citizens of Leslie's town. Now I'm going to look at the choices. The citizens enjoy setting fires and watching things burn? Obviously not, because they really get scared. So this cannot be the answer. The citizens are used to dealing with blackouts and they know the correct procedures to use when one occurs. No, they don't know the correct procedures because they start digging everywhere and they are looking for candles and everywhere, things that they can ignite fire with. So that cannot be the answer. Let's remember that the question is, what can I infer about the citizens of Leslie's town? Letter C, the citizens are dependent upon electricity in their daily lives and they do not know how to live without it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are dependent upon electricity. And when there is a blackout, they don't know what to do. They start quickly digging into stuff, trying to find things to light a fire, a light, some kind of light. Let's take a look at letter D. The citizens are all concerned about Leslie and the fact that he's unable to turn on his television as he normally would. No, the question was not about Leslie. The question is, what can I infer about the citizens of Leslie's town? Now, if you don't mark the correct answer, you're going to see here that you're going to get the correct answer. Let's take a look at it. The correct answer is the citizens are dependent upon electricity in their daily lives and they do not know how to live without it. We can use evidence from the text, but I can also use prior knowledge to infer that this town is dependent on electricity and panics when they are left without it. This is what I read. The blackout sends a wave of panic throughout the small town. What I know, many people are used to using electricity every day in cooking and other activities. That's what I know. So based on what I read and based on what I know, I can infer that the citizens are dependent upon electricity and so they do not know how to live without it. I made my inference based on what I read and based on what I know, because I'm reading between the lines. They did not say that citizens are dependent. I figured it out from reading the text. Let's take a look at number 2. We're going to do another one, okay? This is number 2. I'm going to go to number 3. Read the following passage. What can you infer about the reason that Leslie stops eating? Okay, we remember that Leslie is a boy. Leslie stops eating. What can I infer about the reason that Leslie stops eating? So I'm going to find in the text that Leslie stops eating, and then what can I infer about that? Why does he stop eating? All right, let's read it. First, I need to understand the question, so I have to stop and think. After failing to turn on the TV, Leslie then resorts to his second favorite activity, sleeping. He sleeps on and on, waking up only at intervals to eat food. His parents tiptoe around the house, afraid of waking him. But as you are aware, a person can only sleep for so long. Leslie starts awake the next morning, suddenly aware that he no longer wants to sleep. Leslie begins in earnest upon his third favorite activity. He eats breakfast, then second breakfast, and then third breakfast. Oh my gosh, this boy is eating all the time. Then he stops. He stares sadly at his stomach. Okay, so the question is asking me, what can you infer about the reason that Leslie stops eating? I'm not even going to look at the answers, but I'm going to think about the question. Well, Leslie stops eating, right? He's doing his favorite activity. He's eating 3 times. And then all of a sudden he stops. He stares sadly at his stomach. Okay, so this is telling me that he wanted to eat more. But why did he not eat more? Probably because he's full, right? Now let's find that sentence here that says that. Leslie's full. There is no more room in his stomach. That's the answer. Leslie is still hungry, but there is no food left. Nothing in there is telling me of a possibility that there is no more food. He's staring at his stomach sadly. So if he's sad, that means that he wanted to eat more. Leslie wants to go back to sleep again? No, nothing in there tells me that he wanted to go back to sleep. He wanted to do his favorite activity, eating. Leslie is afraid that his parents will notice him eating. That's not why he stops. So now let's see the explanation. Every time that you get it wrong, you have to look at the feedback. The feedback has a reason. It teaches you, if you make a mistake, you can take a look at it, and then for the next one, you're going to be more prepared. The correct answer is Leslie is full. There is no more room in his stomach. I can always use evidence from the text as well as prior knowledge to infer that Leslie has eaten as much as he can eat. This is what I read in the text. Leslie eats breakfast, then second breakfast, and then third breakfast. This is what I know. Most people only eat one breakfast because the human stomach becomes full. So what can I infer based on this? That Leslie is finally full. There is no more room left in his stomach. I came to this conclusion based on what I read and what I know. You are making an inference and drawing a conclusion. Let's take a look at one more. Look, you see 3 of 7? We're going to go to the 4 of 7, and then you're going to do this on your own. Number 4, read the following passage. What can you infer about the trees? Leslie. So the continuation of the story of Leslie's. Leslie stands up from the table and begins pacing. He has nothing left to do until the blackout ends, which could be days. Wow, that must be a town very far from the city that can have a blackout that lasts so long. Bored, he notices that it is uncomfortably hot in the kitchen. He wanders into the living room, but the air is no better. Without the air conditioner, his house keeps getting warmer during the daytime. It is the middle of summer, and the sun streams in through the window. Leslie looks out the window and notices that the trees seem to be dancing outside. They beckon on him. They are inviting him to be dancing. The question says, what can you infer about the trees? Okay, so this paragraph is talking about the fact that it's very hot and that the house is getting warmer and warmer. But then when Leslie looks outside the window, he looks out the window and he notices that the trees seem to be dancing outside. So I'm reading that the trees seem to be dancing. Now, do trees dance? No, they don't. So what can I infer based on that? Probably it's windy, right? I'm making my inference based on what I am reading. Now let's take a look at the answers. The trees want Leslie to water them? No. The trees are dying in the smoldering heat? No. The trees are moving because of the wind? Yeah, that seems to be the answer. That's what we said. The trees have learned to move on their own? That doesn't make sense. Again, if you chose a wrong answer, you always come to the feedback. The trees are moving because of the wind. That's what I can infer about the trees. We can use evidence from the text as well as prior knowledge to infer that the trees only seem to dance in the wind. This is what I read. The trees seem to be dancing outside. They beckon to Leslie. They call Leslie. Now, can the trees dance? Can they move their arms and call somebody? No. This is what I know. Trees only move when something else moves them, like the wind. So what inference can I make? The trees are moving because of the wind. All right, so now guys, it's gonna be your turn to do numbers 5, 6, and 7. I want to take you quickly to number 7 because in number 7, you're gonna do the same thing, but you have to actually type your answer here. And then if you notice this arrow down, there is lesson topic 2. And you're gonna have 6 more to do. All of those you're gonna do on your own. So let's go back to topic 1. I was in number 4, and now you need to do this one, 5, 6, and 7. All right, ready? Always watch the video again so that you can review how to make inferences and draw conclusions based on a text. This is literature now. It's not informational texts. This is literature. Thank you.